Arm yourself with a pen and shield yourselves with graph paper as we gather around the campfire of our collective imagination. It is a time of great unrest in the galaxy. The evil forces of the Empire have been defeated, but the remnants of their tyranny still linger. Luke Skywalker has regathered Force-sensitive individuals from across the galaxy to join his Jedi Temple. This is following Grogu and Leia as his disciples. He has trained you previously at his Jedi Praxium on Yavin 4, which began construction 5 years ago. He is trying to persuade his sister to allow 9-year-old Ben Solo to attend the Jedi Temple, but she is resistant to him. Nonetheless, he requests you and the rest of the party to go within the temple, this being the Masasi Temple, and from there, find the materials, craft your first lightsaber handle, and then perhaps cleanse any remnant dark side energies from its previous Imperial inhabitation. Any questions?
Nope, got it. I'm taking some notes.
And so here in our opening scene, it is your character, Rah'ec. You have Darren Jin, a human, Kata, a human, who appears to have landed with Leia, as well as Kel Varati, a Syrian, and Moira, another human.
Okay.
So you and the other 4 are his Padawans. Leia and Luke are kind of giving each other sharp jabs verbally as he's trying to convince her to get Ben to join the Jedi Temple, and she just says she's not comfortable with it. He's a little bit too young, and she's been having visions about a dark future if he does pursue this path.
I guess I'm making it obvious I'm listening. I'm intrigued. I imagine I'm maybe the oldest of the Padawans. Is that fair?
This is very fair.
Okay. So I feel a little more like an adult here. So yeah, I think I'm listening. I mean, do they take notice of that?
He's kind of doing it in front of everybody, maybe to try and maybe even shame Leia to get Ben to get on track for what is ultimately his destiny. Everyone can feel the strong force sensitivity within him, and it would not only be somewhat of a waste of his personal attributes, but also a waste of their legacy, having come this far from the Skywalker.
So what's the proper honorific for Luke and Leia? Do I call them Master? What have I been told to call them?
You can call him just Luke. He's very informal, but you all call him Master Luke. That's no problem. Leia, it is Senator Leia Organa. And then there's young Ben. It's the year 14 after the Battle of Yavin. Kata, the pink-haired one, will wish Leia a safe travel, and thanks for bringing everybody here.
I'll approach Senator Organa. Senator, perhaps it's not my place, but I've trained young students at my dojo in the past, and I think if a young person has gifts, they should it should be nurtured, and they should be taught how to use their gifts wisely.
Ben seems to perk up. He intently appears to want to pursue the path of a Jedi, but Leia, she smiles and bows her head and says, "Thank you for speaking your truth to me, Rah'ec. I just don't think it's appropriate for someone his age. I know that the Jedi teachings used to bring somebody in before they've even seen a couple of seasons, but you are all much older than him. I think just for these multiple reasons, it's not quite his time to join the temple."
You're his mother. Perhaps you know better than anyone, but I have to say for myself, I wish I had learned valuable skills earlier in life. I think they would have served me better, and I'd be better where I'm at today if I had learned them earlier.
You make a valid point. I perhaps suppose that may be why I prefer to keep Ben with me than with his father, just for those life skills.
I nod at that.
So Leia will put her hand out to shake yours.
Oh, I feel honored. I'll shake her hand. Give her a little bow also.
As she takes your hand, she is going to give you a small crystal and say, "May the Force be with you, Rah'ec."
Oh, thank you, Senator Organa, and also with you.
And then they get onto their Lambda-class ship, and they fly off into the galaxy.
I guess I'll turn and see if Luke's been watching all this.
Luke has been watching all of this, R2-D2 and C-3PO as well, and Luke offers that now would be your time to explore the temple itself. This is a hands-on exercise. While you have already received some time with Luke, that's what explains why you could get a discount on some of the basic force powers.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of your time as a Padawan will be mostly self-guided. He has cleared out the majority of the greatest dangers in this temple, but as you said before, it is your responsibility to find the materials to claim your first lightsaber.
Out of character, do I know what the list of materials is, or do I need to ask for that?
You could ask. You could also roll a mechanics or lore to see what you want to find out. It would be with 2 purple.
Let's try lore, see what happens. There we go.
That works. So you succeeded and 2 threats. So you're pondering all on your own, trying to figure out what it takes to build a lightsaber. You're aware that the 2 components you need are a handle and a crystal, while there is the possibility to introduce additional elements to it, like modifications.
I'll look at. I haven't really looked at it. I guess I'll look at what Senator Organa gave me. You said it was a crystal. I guess I'll take a look at that. Does that feel like it has force mojo on it?
It is a crystal. Do you have the sense force power?
I do not have that force power.
So your character is not having luck trying to determine the force sensitivity of this. Perhaps you'd like to lean on one of your allies.
Sure. I'll approach him.
Sure. So that's Darren Jin. So yeah, let's roll for Darren. Would you like to roll for Darren? I don't mind if you control him.
Sure. That'll give me a little extra things to do. Sounds good. What am I rolling for him?
That's going to be 2 force dice. It's in.
Okay.
It appears to be a mephite crystal, and like when he holds it, it actually glows as he senses the force through it, and it's very clear that it is a force-sensitive crystal. If anything, this appears to be more strongly imbued with the force than a normal crystal may be.
So I think I have half of what I need. I just need the handle parts, I guess. Is that
Indeed.
fair? So I'll look at I'll go back to Luke and say, so I think I'm just looking for a handle in the temple at this point.
He will nod, and as you and Darren were communing with the crystal, the ladies have already begun exploring the temple.
Okay. Well, Darren, looks like we're being left behind. We should get in there.
He'll laugh and say that he'll race you in.
All right. As we're running, I say, well, I believe in ladies first, but we shouldn't let them get too far ahead of us.
And so Darren will rush in, following on the left-hand side, and then you will go in. There's an antechamber with 4 pillars in the center. Moira seems to go to the right. Darren is following on the left-hand side. Kata is taking her time, really taking in the entire thing. It seems like she is intently focused on the connections between the people and the area around her, while Kel Varati has wandered forward, and there appears to be something that she is messing with the computer part of. She laughs and says aloud, "I think this is a lightsaber forge."
That'll get my attention. I'll go up there.
You can go head on up. It appears that Kel is already working with it. When she arrived, there were materials in the lightsaber forge, and somewhat greedily, she already started using them. So for you to use it, you're going to need to find additional materials.
Okay. I'll just watch her for maybe a few seconds and see if that's progressing well, and then I'll kind of shrug, and I guess we're going to head off to maybe the east. That doesn't look like, I think there was a passageway that way.
She is happy to have an audience for a while. It appears that she's making a lightsaber with a basket hilt rather than the traditional straight or cross guard that you might be familiar with.
Interesting.
And to the right, it appears to be an archive of some sort. Please make a perception check against 3 purple for me.
Okay.
All purple. Yeah, 2 successes, 3 threats. I want to use those threats to give you a setback die on your next roll.
Okay.
Your character he's frustrated because his life skills up to this point didn't really have anything through this. You were used to being fed, clothed, and armed, and then thrown into the arena. So this is a totally foreign realm.
Makes total sense, yeah.
However, for a success, in the archives, you do find that it appears to be a false wall.
I guess I'm going to assume there's maybe a secret passage there. I'll start kind of tapping the wall, looking for like a a panel or something that recedes?
It's a hologram.
Hmm.
And so you pass through it just like it was a piece of light. From
Okay.
here, it becomes roughly worked stone rather than the more industrialized finery of the temple itself. And you can go through. At this point, you are Mir Alan, and this place is dark.
All right. So I'll get out of my pack a pair of scanner goggles. Put them on.
You can see totally normally in the darkness. Good use of equipment. Rah'ec can continue wandering on. It appears that there's a pool here where it starts to slope downward, and then it forks. The pool goes downward for a stairs, and then the other side of the fork is a more narrow passage that is still unworked.
So I'll look at the pool. I'm a little wary of that, just to see if there's anything moving in it or anything, strange or something, shapes or anything.
You roll perception against 2 purple. 0 successes.
Yep.
Your character can't piece together that there's anything unusual about this pool. You don't see any life or shinies inside of it.
I'll go down the passageway off to my left a little bit and hold off on the stairs for now and just see what's down there a little bit.
You come in through the unworked area, and then you begin to get a foreboding sense, as though the force itself is converging in this area.
Back towards where the stairs are, or back towards where I'm going?
Towards where you're going.
All right. It's foreboding, though.
It does seem like it's more of a dark side sense than a light side sense.
I guess I'll slow my pace a little bit to be a little more alert, and I'm intrigued, but just cautious, and I'll go forward.
Please make a discipline check against 1 red and 1 purple.
1 success, 1 threat.
So you do succeed. You resist whatever the area here is. It seems to be trying to reach into you, to influence you in some way. And as you go further up, a figure seems to be standing with a rune-covered sword in front of you, where it seems to open up.
So I guess I look a little confused, like I've never seen this person before, I assume, and it doesn't seem possible that he's here. So I guess I'm kind of squinting. Does it look like an illusion or anything like that?
If you're trying to pierce it as though it was an illusion, you could roll vigilance against 3 purple.
Oof.
Your character believes he sees what he sees, and despite it not being a well-educated person, you believe that this is a Sith. Not merely like a Sith Lord, like the species Sith. The man in front of you has tendrils hanging from his otherwise largely humanoid face with some ridges that resemble horns that poke out from his robes.
Looking wary for danger, like I'm thinking he might, lunge at me. I'll say, "Hello."
Hello, Jedi. Are you here to defile my temple once more?
I think you're mistaken. I'm not a Jedi yet. What are you doing here? I didn't think anybody would be here.
I constructed this thousands of years ago. My immortality is built into its walls. But I have seen the Jedi come and go. There was a greater force more recently.
Okay, do you have a name, sir?
He glowers at you, like almost unbelieving that you would have the audacity not to recognize him. And he says, Lord Naga Sadao. And then I think we're going to have to roll initiative.
Okay. Cool or vigilance?
This one's kind of, I feel like it leans more towards cool in this case.
Sure.
You are going second. Stopping initiative roll. So your character's discipline is 1 yellow, 1 green. Meaning he's going to have a red and a purple as he tries to influence you. He does succeed. Your character is going to take 6 strain damage as a wave of negative emotions come over you. Your character feels alone, fear, as he projects the force upon Rah'ec.
So did he just just motion, or was that totally the power of his mind? Like, did I see any movement from him when he did that?
It was totally the power of his mind. Your character sensed the dark energies rushing off of him, and without a single gesture, were imbued with fear.
So I think what's going through my head is I may be outclassed here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to turn around and escape him. So I think my gladiatorial instincts are kicking in, and I'm going to go after him.
So this game has actions and maneuvers. Unless you've got a condition against you, you get one action and one maneuver for free. You can also suffer 2 strain to do a additional maneuver, no more than 2 maneuvers per round, including you can turn your action into a maneuver, and in that way you could do 2 maneuvers without straining yourself.
Okay. How far away is he, range band wise?
He's in short range.
Okay. I'll flick my wrists and my fan blades come out. I don't know if you count that as maneuver or incidental. It's up to you.
I'll put this as incidental.
Okay. And I think with just a look of fear and grim determination, I'll rush towards him and try to take some swipes on him.
All right, so maneuver to get into close range.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can attack him, and his defense and everything should be automatic if you have him targeted.
Yep. Interesting.
So you generate some threat. I'm going to give you a setback die for that and 1 strain.
He's going to strain me out here if I'm not careful.
It's very possible. As your character is not able to get a good grip on him, you swing wildly, and despite him not moving his feet, he does sway to avoid your attacks.
Okay.
And then he's going to... Oh, you have something to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think my character, feels the temptation to tap into the dark side to, add some extra oomph to the attack, but he's going to decline. He feels like he needs to try to take the high road, not sink to his level type thing.
Very reasonable. And so your melee defense is 2. So for him to hit you, it should be 2 purple and 2 black. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, and I'm going to spend a point of strange to do a dodge.
Which is going to upgrade it?
Yep.
So 1 red, a purple, 2 black.
Got me anyway, okay.
He still got you. All right, so he can't crit against you, but he's going to do 8 damage, which you have a soak of 6. You take 2 wounds.
Okay.
And as he gives you a modest scratch through your armor, and then he is going to he's going to maneuver across here, taking a small hop backwards across the waters. And now it's your turn.
I guess I'll give a quick look at this water. Does it look like water, or does it look like it's acid or something? Can I tell just from a glance?
It does look like water, but due to the dark nature of the force convergence here, you can predict that if you fall into it, it could have unpredictable consequences.
Which may be what he's trying to do. Yeah, playing my character, I think he's, perhaps unwisely, so to speak, out for blood. So I think I'm going to try to, take a running start and try to leap from that edge over to where he is.
This is going to be an athletics check against 1 red, 1 purple. Seed. Do you tap into the dark side at all?
No, I don't want to. I know the strain is part of the problem, but I think also I'm trying to not do that here.
You maneuver into position, leaping over it, and he shifts a little bit. His back is against the wall, and you are in close range again.
So I will try to hit him again. All right, so select weapon, and here we go.
Oh yeah, for having it accurate. Mm-hmm. So you succeed. You get 2 threats. The weight of this area seems to be weighing on you. As you do hit, what's the damage of your fem brace?
So it's base damage of 6. So what? 7, 8 damage, I guess.
That's 8 damage.
And it's pierce 2.
So ignores 2 of his soak. So 6 damage. So you do manage to hurt him, and with this, it reveals to your character that he is not really there. Once you make full contact, you can tell that he is in some way maybe a ghost of some sort. He cackles, and then with a wave of his hand, you can see the dark side energy emanating off of him and towards you. He's going to try to influence you again.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to flip this dark side point
Okay.
to a light side to upgrade his influence on you.
Okay.
And he gets 0 successes. This time your character can become emboldened as you are already filled with fear that you turned to fight rather than flight. And it's your turn.
So it seems that he's like a spirit, and I'm thinking he's probably like made of dark side energy. I'm feeling like this is not like a physical foe I can overcome. I've faced plenty of things in the gladiatorial arena, so I guess I'm kind of looking around to see what else is here. Is there anything else of interest?
Roll perception, and you get to ignore all the setbacks and stuff. It's going to be just 2 purple against your perception.
I'm going to flip a light side to upgrade this.
Very good. You succeed, and you get an advantage. You could use that advantage to recover a strain.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do.
So I'm just going to roll your character here. As your character pierces through this illusion with his physical force, you look around sharply, and you can see the light from outside breaking through a wall over here. Almost like you could push it open if you tried. And then there's a further corridor where this continues down. That's what you see, and I'll say that was an incidental.
Okay, and you said there was light to the north,
Like the
east.
northeast. Yeah.
So I would like to take a running leap over there and try to get through that wall. I feel like I need to go towards the light and get away from this guy.
It's a regular maneuver, no roll necessary to go this direction. It's as though when you approached him, the combination of your fear and his power resisted you, but to run away is a more simple matter. And you're now here against the thin wall.
I guess I'll put my hand out to it to see if this is actually a solid wall this time.
It is solid. If you wanted to try to break it, you could use athletics.
Sure.
3 purple. You have a light side point there, and you have the enhanced power.
Yeah. So if I spend the light side, which doesn't cost any strain, that would make a success. I'll definitely want to do that. With that advantage, I'll get back another strain.
Very good. Recover your strain. Your character does manage to knock down this wall with some heaving and pushing, and eventually with one throw of your shoulder against it, it does break open, and when the light touches the Force user, he evaporates, but with a cackle rather than a scream.
Oh, I feel like I'm going from one trap to another. Okay.
But you've knocked your way out of the temple, and you're back into the fields around it.
Am I supposed to see what the others are doing?
You're allowed to just I'm moving them around. I figured they're not doing nothing, right?
Right. I didn't know if that was secret. I'm seeing secret GM stuff or not.
No, good question. No, that is just as it is. And so your character has gotten out of the temple, but you have sustained actual physical damage as well as the stress of combat.
Sure.
Now that the combat's over, you can roll discipline to recover strain. That is a rule that people rarely use in this game.
Or cool.
There's no difficulty. Yeah. Discipline or cool. No purples or anything, just a straight roll.
Yep. Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's what it is.
Okay. So I'm shaken from that encounter. So I guess I'm, kind of heaving a little bit and taking in this next room. See what's here.
The sun of the moon of Yavin 4 shines upon you. There appears to be still a small cairn here, and then a path that leads back to the entrance.
I'll approach the dais thing.
You do approach the cairn. It doesn't seem to have any identifying marks on it, but it's just a statue of a person in meditation.
I'll kind of take a ambulatory around it, just checking it thoroughly. It's like it's important.
I guess this would be a lore check to see what your character can get out of an assessment. 2 purple. I'm going to turn that into a setback dice on an upcoming roll.
Got it.
Well, your character can't really seem to piece things together, but you get like kind of like a haunting feeling, like flashes of the Sith as you size it up and down, but you can't figure out if it's really significant.
Does this meditating figure look Jedi, or does it look more nefarious, like Sithy?
It does seem to be like Jedi robes, but it was also kind of desecrated by the Imperials that had come and gone over the years. You think of like a corrupted statue.
I guess I'll look around and look at the ceiling, make sure I'm not missing anything else here. Do I see anything else besides?
You're
The bar?
outside now, so it's not really a ceiling. You're just
Oh,
in this
right.
little.
I'm gonna go with my gut. So I think I'll, just take one more look around. I will assume a meditative sitting position and try to commune to the best of my ability with the force here near the statue. See if that does anything.
Sure, you can roll discipline with one purple, one red, and you can use your force rating.
I think I'll spend a light side, please. Okay. I will put those light side into successes.
All right.
And
So
get some
with
more
the
strain
three,
back.
yeah. So ultimately, it became a good roll. I think that light side point was well used.
Hmm.
And so as you meditate, you can see kind of like the image of decades, centuries crossing past as you wander through the astral mindscape. And there you see just the Jedi here finding Yavin 4 Temple for the first time and reclaiming it as it was a Sith temple long ago. Your character peers back in time through his meditation, and you see that this was a great temple to Naga Sadow, and then it was, in its own way, desecrated from Naga Sadow's point of view to become a Jedi temple, and then once again taken by the Empire, and then returned to the Jedi, and then taken one more time. It's been flip flop, flip flop, and so you see the corrupted spirit of a Jedi kind of combating with the Naga Sadow in embodying, kind of haunting this temple.
This person battling it is what I got from what you were saying. Does this appear to be a Jedi or another dark side person?
It's more like a Jedi who was corrupted. Not like they
Got
want
it.
to be dark side, but just the things that they've witnessed has gotten to them.
Okay. So I guess I'm kind of mulling that over. I feel like I'm getting glimpses of the past, which is interesting. I guess I'll slowly, come out of this vision slash meditation, uh, and open my eyes, look around.
It has been at least half an hour that your character meditated for. You can see that the sun has moved a bit in the sky, and you are still alone in this corner, but you get the sense that other people have been hard at work on the inside.
Is there anything further to the south outside from where I am?
It is a path that leads back to the entrance, and there's also stairs going way further down from the temple, and some other side croppings for this somewhat dilapidated building.
Okay. I guess when I see that I've, come out to here, I'm going to turn around and go back in.
The hole you made in the wall?
Yeah, I'll kind of kind of steady myself, try to, calm my breath, and once more into the breach, I'll step through and into this dark side nexus area.
You step through, and you hear a voice, a distorted voice, saying, "Who's there?"
Rah'ec Tru, who are you?
Their voice again, it becomes kind of muffled. You're looking deep into this side, and this is from where the voice seems to be coming from. There is a sound that maybe your character would be able to identify. Roll education against one purple. It's a distinct sound, so it's not that hard. You hear a Wookiee cry, and you can also recover another strain.
Does it sound like in pain? Do I have a sense of the?
Like
I don't.
a cry of fear.
All right. So I guess I'd like to kind of retrace what I did earlier and step, onto this stone and then try to, I guess jump or whatever I need to do over there. Yeah.
It's not much for your character. You go on through, and then I'm just going to grab a mini real fast. This is the part where it's like, oh, maybe you shouldn't see all this, but like, if we were here in person, you would see all this stuff, right?
Sure.
And you see your ally Moira seems to be in a bit of a verbal dispute with this Wookiee. Your character is from Hut Space, so I find it somewhat unlikely that you speak Wookiee.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. Have I seen this Wookiee before? This isn't one of the Padawans, so I don't know who this is, right?
That's right. This is not one of the Padawans. Moira is one of the Padawans. The Wookiee seems to be in incredible distress. He is wearing Jedi robes, although they seem to be somewhat torn up. Anyway, Moira's basically saying like, what are you doing here? Like no one's supposed to be here. Like, I don't. Are you safe? Are you? And it's just like this area of confusion where neither of them understands why the other one is there. Although it does seem Moira speaks Shiriwook.
Um, I guess I'm trying to look non-threatening towards the Wookiee and looking him over. Does he look like he's hurt? Like, is he bleeding or anything?
For checking for that, it would be a medicine check. 2 purples. So you succeed, and you'll get another threat. I am going to turn that threat to remind myself that you're supposed to have had a setback dice from previous things, but so that's my reminder. So you don't need to gain any strain or anything. He
You want to
does
give me another
have.
setback? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm going to give you a setback on your next thing, which I
Okay.
forgot to give you on your previous thing.
Okay.
So he does have a cut on him similar to Rah'ec does.
I'll say Mora. It sounds like you speak his language. It looks like he's hurt. I've got stim packs. Ask him if I can give him one.
Oh, good, you've got something. I could only tell he was a Wookiee because of, Shuriwook. The temples on Kashyyyk are very interesting. Your character is familiar that Moira is more of a temple diver, a tomb raider, you might say.
Mm-hmm.
And she does not have the scanner goggles that you do, so she doesn't really see anything going on. She explains, well, if he's injured, we should get him out of here. If you have a stim pack, you can go ahead, administer it, but maybe we should get somewhere brighter.
All right. Well, tell him I'm I'm gonna try to help him with this stim pack so he doesn't like thwack me or anything. But yeah, I'll approach him with the stim pack and go, and then inject him, and then we'll help him
He
out of here.
She coughs and does her finest ululations as she tries to mimic the Shiriwook language, and he does seem perhaps a little calmer.
Okay. So I'll inject him, and if he lets me, I'll help him out of here.
I believe Simbags just work. You don't need to roll medicine for them, but there are some talents that increase the potency of it.
Yeah, it's just he should just get 5 wounds back, as far as I know.
Yeah. So you administer the stim pack, and then he does like kind of bark for a moment and say, and then he is receptive to any additional attempts you try to make with him. You're guiding him out.
Yeah.
So you all get to hear. Moira says that Luke speaks Shiriwook. If you want to bring the Wookiee to him, she wants to investigate this device that she found earlier till she heard the Wookiee.
Okay, I'll take him to Luke.
When you get here, your character can tell that this is a ghost. Once the light touches him, he does not disappear like the Sith did.
So I guess I'm taken aback and kind of looking at him. You're a spirit too, it looks like.
He seems a bit confused, as though he doesn't speak the basic language very well. It sounds like you're bringing him to Luke?
Yes.
When you get outside the temple, he seems to fade even more. And Luke will turn to greet both of you, and he seems quite astonished. He says, first of all, Rah'ec, are you okay? As he waves his hand over your injuries.
I met a unfriendly ghost in the temple. We had some words, and he tried to, I don't know, dominate me, and we fought.
He looks at you quizzically and asks if you found anything else. It was they disappeared. They fought you.
He said his name was Naga Sadao and was offended I didn't know his name. That seemed to anger him greatly. And I found a cairn earlier and meditated in front of it, and I saw what I'm guessing is the history of this place. It's turned over from light side to dark side many times over the centuries.
Luke is impressed with your investigation work, and he says that he will speak to this ghost. If you require medical assistance, he can offer you his own stim pack.
I'll hold up my hand, say no, thank you, Master Luke. I'll administer one to myself. Inject one.
Feel free to take those stim packs off, and Luke is putting a hand out to the ghost, and then rather than speaking, he closes his eyes, and your character can tell that they're having a contact as they reach out with their feelings. Where would you like to proceed from here?
I guess I'll watch this interchange, and if I get the sense it's going to go on for a while, I guess I'll turn around and go back inside the temple.
It does seem to take a while, but it's maybe worth noticing that C-3PO and R2-D2 don't understand what Luke is doing. Like C-3PO walks up and says, "Oh, Master Luke, what's going on? Are you all right?" As though they can't perceive the Wookiee.
C-3PO, he's doing some Jedi stuff. I suggest you leave him alone.
Oh, right, of course. Thank you, Rah'ec. Rude of me. And he'll step back.
I'll give R2 a little nod as I go back into the temple.
R2-D2, it's possible your character speaks binary?
No, I don't think I'm a brain at all. I'm all brawn for the most part.
At the very least, they seem to be positive beeps and boops from R2-D2.
Okay, we'll give him a little smirk and another nod, and then head inside.
You can go back in.
I guess I'm
And
seeing. Go ahead.
it has been probably another half an hour or so from you wandering around. It seems that Darren and Kel are working on something. They have a box of what you can tell are parts next to the lightsaber forge, and Kel has her basket hilt lightsaber out, but no crystal.
All right, I'm gonna explore to the west where they just came from.
As you come up the stairs, Darren will shout up to you and say that he already checked the west, that there was a place to meditate, and that's where he found this weapons cache.
Kind of give him a nod at that. Kind of indicate I'm gonna go check it out for myself anyway.
You'll say feel happy to. Ladies first, he says, not understanding that he was first, and maybe that there's nothing wrong with being a lady. You can go through. There's a path upwards where you can hear Kata speaking in a room, talking maybe some technobabble nonsense regarding emitters and handles and crystals.
Yeah, I'll go up there.
You come in, and it's another archive. Kata is poring over a book that seems to go over some Jedi information. She doesn't pay much attention to you verbally. Like she doesn't look up, but you can tell that she seems to sense when you approach.
Anything interesting in that?
Very interesting, actually. You were given a crystal by Leia as a gift. I believe it talks of crystals.
What's it say about the crystals?
There's many types, and if you have the time to attune yourself to a crystal, then it seems to be quite favorable in the construction of a lightsaber, to make it more your own. They're sensitive to the paths of the Force, the intent you put behind it. Fortunately, everyone here, we're all going to be Jedi, so we're not going to tap into the dark side of the Force, but it really cautions against it.
Does it say anything about the best way to, I do air quotes, attune?
Yes, it says a disciplined meditation upon the stone is likely to work. Would you like me to maybe walk you through a meditation, Rah'ec?
Sure, please.
She's going to take out the book and flip through a few pages. You can make a discipline check. In this case, it's up to you if you want to use your skill, or you can replace either your attribute with her willpower, which is 3, or you can replace your skill ranks with her discipline, which is 2. That might even both of those might even give you the same bonus.
Yeah, let's just make it easy and go with hers.
So it's going to be a yellow and 2 green, or you can do 2 yellow is really what it would end up being.
Let's go yellow, 2 green.
Yellow, 2 green against. So with a blue dot, with a boost, because she's walking you through that. So one part's the aid and one part's the text. Against 2 purple. Your character succeeds, and the lightsaber crystal begins to glow blue as you are meditating upon it. It is seem to be suggesting your character would be a Jedi guardian of the path, is what she says. That the color of a lightsaber is not definitive, but it is well known that guardians tend to have blue lightsabers, consulars tend to have green lightsabers.
So I, the player, know what that all means, but my character would say, so what's the difference?
A guardians is more like the soldiers of the Jedi, while consulars are more like the lore keepers, the scholars and negotiators.
Yeah, I think I'm a guardian. Hope to be.
And you have found your lightsaber. Crystal, at least. Do you
Well, thank
think
you.
you'd want to attach a lightsaber to your gauntlets? Do you think that's the style you're going for? She begins to make small talk.
Hadn't thought about that. Is it even possible? I've only seen like sword-like lightsabers before.
That does seem to be most typical, but this text talks about many types, even a light whip.
Interesting. I'll have to think about that. Thank you. You've been very helpful.
Always happy to help a fellow student.
Same here. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Just guard me, because I'm certainly a consular, I think.
I laugh. Of course. We have to support one another.
Where to next? Are you going to continue to the west?
Yes, and I'll give her like a respectful bow again of thanks before I leave.
She'll respond in kind, and your character can go through. It's down the stairs, and then to the west, to the meditation terrace. It's relatively dusty, but you can see a point that seems to be clean, and then a dragging mark pulling it back that resembles where Darren had pulled the weapons cache back to the lightsaber forge.
I guess I'm wondering if there's similar under these other cushions as I understand it. So I guess I'm kind of prodding those a little bit.
Sure, let's have you roll perception against 2 purple. This is where I'm going to use that setback die. A success and a threat. So that threat, your character is going to get another strain.
Okay.
And it's not directly through your looking around, but from that stretch, your character throws one of the pillows, and you find another false wall to the north here.
I chuckle. It's like, oh, I wonder what's going to be on that side this time. Okay, I'll approach it and go through.
With your scanner goggles on, you find that there's a stairwell going downward.
Okay. How does this place feel to me so far? I mean, obviously I don't have sense, but does it feel creepy or fine?
It does not seem like this area is a convergence.
Okay. I'll keep going. Just be cautious as I go.
There are more unworked stones here, and then it seems to loop back around, and then from there, it went uphill, and you can look down on the meditation terrace as though somebody could have been watching this entire time.
Is there any evidence anybody's been up here recently? Like, do I see
That would be
footprints or anything?
a survival check for your character to like kind of track them.
Okay.
Against 3 purple and a setback dice due to you're trying to track somebody on hard stone.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, you don't see any evidence of it, and I'm going to turn those threats into an upcoming setback die.
Okay.
So you have found a hiding hole over here. Seems like somebody maybe watched Darren pull the weapons cache back, but you can't see them now.
Is there anything of interest in this area? I'll just kind of look around. I mean, if this is a vantage point, I kind of wonder if there's anything hidden up here. Like, I don't know. I kind of look at the stones. Is there like maybe a hidden cache of something up here?
Not here, it doesn't seem like. Your character puts his hands on the walls and kind of knocks on things. It is solid stone all around you. Just this kind of crevice that allows you to look down onto the meditation terrace.
How high up is this, would you say?
About 15 feet.
Okay. I guess I'll retrace my steps going back to the meditation terrace.
And from here, now having a little bit more knowledge, your character can look up, and what appeared just to be like kind of like where the walls buttress at the top, that's where you can see the cracks towards that viewing area.
Interesting. I guess I'll spend some more time just, going over this area, make sure I haven't missed anything, look at the walls and stuff. If I don't see anything, then I'm going to head over to those stairs going south.
These stairs.
Actually, the other stairs.
Oh, these
Yeah,
ones.
yeah. Yep.
Those
Yep.
ones. These ones go under here and lead to the meditation terrace.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand that. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I'll go south then.
South here,
Yeah.
and you come upon a room that is glowing with light side energy. A much smaller convergence reveals itself to you.
Seems like a place I might want to meditate, so I will do that.
All right, you can roll discipline with a setback die and against 2 purples.
Do I put my force rating in or no?
This one you do not.
Okay.
You succeed, you can use those advantage to either give yourself a boost die or to recover strain.
Yeah, I want to get my strain down.
So 2 strain. Your character meditates and subconsciously reaches for your crystal, your mephite crystal. And then as you open your eyes for a moment, you can see in the faces of that crystal a little bit of a prophecy. You see your character is the last one to construct their lightsaber, and then the convergence seems to expand. Your character is alone against the Sith once more, and then it flashes to the future, suggesting your character does survive. You find yourself on a large Imperial ship facing against man in dark, skin-tight clothing with a vibro sword. And then it pulls you back to the present.
Do I have any sense at all of how far into the future this is? Assuming this is going to actually happen in the future.
Your character didn't have a chrono piece to look at during either portion.
Right, but does it feel like years, or could be more relatively soon?
Maybe 1 year.
Okay. All right, so I'm a little unsettled by that, but I'll have to trust in the force. Yeah, I guess I'll open my eyes and kind of take in my surroundings. Perhaps I should have done this earlier. Look to see if there's anything else in the room here. If not, I'll maybe exit and go to the next room to the east.
You can roll lore, perception, or skullduggery for this against 2 purple.
They're all the same for me, so it doesn't really matter. Let's just go perception.
All right. 0 successes, 1 advantage. Your character doesn't find anything, but you do it's anything useful, but you do find some appears to be old Jedi toys, which kind of encourage your character. Like there's really like a little bit of hope in here. You play around, it reminds you of your childhood, and you can recover another strain.
Okay. Fond memories, perhaps, or the few that I've probably had as a slave.
Yes.
So I'll get up and exit this room, and go to that next room, the little room to the north.
This one?
Yes.
So as your character is coming through, and you at the same time see Moira in the hallway as you look to the north, there doesn't actually appear to be anything of consequence in here. Maybe some old equipment. If you worked hard, you might be able to piece together a workable kit of some sort. But otherwise, Moira calls over to you and says, "Hey, how's the search going? You find any materials?"
It's slow going. I've had some interesting experiences though, but not materials yet.
We might just have to make do with whatever we found. I couldn't get the shield generator up and working. It seems like no matter what I did, it like there was gremlins in it or something.
Well, I had a different experience in this temple earlier. I fought something earlier.
You fought something? I think the other Padawan would be interested to hear about that. I don't want you to have to tell it twice.
Okay, perhaps we'll have a story time later.
Sure. Do you want help with anything? Otherwise, I'm interested in getting my lightsaber crafted.
No, please go ahead. I'm on my own journey, I think.
And she will walk north to the assembly hall. So yeah, like I said, there are some. It looks like a mixture of old Rebel and old Imperial supplies kept inside this room.
All right, I'll start looking through these through the Rebel and supplies.
It's mostly like you can find like blasters, some armor, a couple of basic pieces of equipment. Is there anything you're trying to get out of this?
I guess enough for some sort of like a hilt, or I'm maybe intrigued now by the Van Blade thing, so maybe something that I could use for that.
This will be a mechanic check against 3 purple because none of the stuff here is really for building a lightsaber, so you're really kind of jury-rigging it.
You said 4 purple?
Sorry, three purple, not 4
3
purple.
purple. Okay.
I did say 4. I don't know why I said 4.
I was like, whoa, okay, this is really not good stuff here. Okay.
So you can get adequate materials to build maybe a training lightsaber, but it's probably not something that you would want to bring into combat. And I'll hold on to that setback dice for now.
All right. Well, it's all I've found so far. So I guess I'll take it with me. But still on the lookout for better, I guess. Let's go south where that statue is. South into the west. Yep.
You come south and to the west, and here, your character sees a mixture. Like you have to rub your eyes to see what you really see. You see that in the real world, this is all rubble, but like there's a overlay. You see that there is the shadow of a existing statue. There you see Naga Sadow's face on this statue here.
Guess I'm a little unsettled by that after the experience from earlier. But I guess I'll try to steel myself and just kind of look around, maybe past the statue, see if there's anything of interest around or in the statue or in this area.
Make a discipline check against 1 red, 1 purple. And I'm going to use that setback die right now.
Okay.
You get a strain. As you're looking around, your hand passes through the illusion, and then just like that feeling of fear overcomes your character again, as though Naga Sadow was trying to intimidate you, and you hear a whisper that one way to overcome fear is to join the aggressor.
I'll say out loud, "No thanks," and I'll go through that. Looks like there's a archway there to the south.
Say doorway out.
Mm-hmm.
Luke is no longer communing with the Wookiee, but the Wookiee does look to be at peace. They are themselves propped up against the wall here, meditating. And Luke looks to you, his piercing blue eyes, and he nods.
Is he nodding just like good job, acknowledging me, or come here nod?
Like a good, like respectful nod.
Okay, I'll give him a respectful nod back. I guess I'll walk between the two of them, just kind of taking in the thing, and then go back into the temple.
You can go back in, and here you see it appears that Darren and Moira and Kelvara T all have their lightsabers together. Kata explains that there were some crystals within the weapons cache that Darren found.
I say, all I found for components is this. I show them my paltry stuff. Where did you guys get the materials?
Darren laughs and he says he told you. He found it in the meditation chambers to the west. They were just there, sitting out in this box.
So out of character, didn't, unless I misunderstood, there wasn't anything there, or was there?
There was nothing there when your character went, but
so he moved it. He moved it.
He moved it. Yeah, he picked it up and carried it over because his character has the move force power, so he actually could just pick it up with his mind and bring it over.
Well, I say, is there more in there? And I'll step forward towards it.
Yeah, absolutely. Darren encourages you to help yourself.
Okay. I'm probably kicking myself like I misunderstood what he was telling me earlier.
It's possible. That could be a misinterpretation, or I just didn't tell it properly. So, just to go through, Kel has a basket hilt lightsaber. Moira has a light whip, as was mentioned before. Darren has a crossguard lightsaber. And Kata has a slim lightsaber, kind of like it's more focused on defense than offense. Kel is happy to help you use the lightsaber forge. She's already had 4 times to practice with it. She brags.
So I say, I'm wanting something a little different. I show my Van Blades. Can we convert one of these to make a lightsaber come out, you think? with these materials?
Kata beams that you're mentioning of her advice, and Kel says it's not already in there, but I think I could kind of maybe slice something together. So
Uh,
you can make a mechanics check,
mhm.
but you're going to be using Kel's intelligence of 4, and you're going to be using Moira's mechanics of 1. So it's going to be 1 yellow, 3 green,
Okay.
plus 1 boost from the general emotional encouragement from Darren and Kata,
Hmm.
and the materials from the weapons cache, against 3 purple.
Well, let's flip a destiny point since I have one.
All right, flip it over. So that's going to be 2 yellow, 2 green, and a boost against 3 purple. Would you like to use those advantages to heal your strain or to create a boost die for the future?
Let's heal my strain.
All right, so heal 2 more strain. And at this point, you've all been here for a couple of hours. And then your lightsaber seems to take some additional work. Kel is sweating as she puts the code in, and then she asks you to take the wheels. And your character, through the guidance of everyone around you, does manage to create I'm going to say it's like a punch saber.
Hmm. I know what you mean. Yep.
Would you like to describe to me how this looks? Because functionally, I'm going to give you the lightsaber stats, but you can use brawl with it.
So, I think it works kind of like the Van Blade. Perhaps there's a mechanism where I move my wrist a certain way and it pops out and it's a blue blade, kind of whitish blue, and it goes, and it probably comes out maybe a little longer than the Van Blade blades. Um, but
So
yeah,
it could be a straight lightsaber blade like we're used to seeing, but there's no reason why it couldn't curve, and you have like that like curved like as opposed to an iron like a brass knuckles, you've got a lightsaber knuckles.
ooh, I like that. Yeah, let's do that.
That's my suggestion. Yeah,
Yeah.
feel free to continue.
Yeah. So, is the crafting done, or am I just describing what it looks like now, or you're asking
Exactly.
me? Okay. So I activate it and kind of show it to everybody, and I'm looking quite pleased. I mean, it's unique, and so me is kind of what I'm thinking about.
They're all very pleased that you have all come upon this together. And then the lightsaber forge itself seems to spark and deactivate.
Hmm.
They all go still for a moment, and you see that guy. Let me just grab his mini real fast. As time freezes, Naga Sadao walks up from the stairs and glowers at you, and then time restarts.
Do we still see him? Do I still see him when time restarts?
You do still see him. No one else seems to have noticed him yet.
Um, Are the rest of you seen that shadowy figure? And I point at exactly where he is. He identified himself as Naga Sadao earlier.
And you do point, and he's certainly there. They're like, oh yeah, oh my goodness, and then they activate their lightsabers, and we roll initiative.
So I'll say he'll try to dominate your mind, but you can hit him, and I think it hurts him, but it won't kill him since he's a spirit. And then how far away is he?
He's probably medium range here.
So I guess I'm the older student here, even though perhaps some of them may be more advanced than I am. So I'll kind of go, I don't know, to up where kind of the assembly hall area. So I'll interpose myself between the other students and him. That's what I'm trying to do.
All right, you got there.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of at the ready, kind of giving him a little bit of a stink eye and trying to calm myself because I know he's going to try to do some sort of mental assault probably.
I will mention that I forget the name of it, but you have the martial arts technique that lets you punch from afar.
Oh, you're right. Yep. Heck yeah, let's try that. So yeah, across the distance, and so I picture this as like I'm kind of doing like I don't know, like almost like an airbender thing, kind of do some sort of martial arts thing, and I'm just like, and then like force it out because it is a force power of sorts.
Yes, it is a force talent. So in this case, that air carries the plasma from your new lightsaber.
Okay. So let's see. As an action, make a brawl check. It's a range attack, adding your force die up to force rating. Increase the range of the attack by 1 band for each pip spent to a maximum of long. Okay.
And
I
that's
guess I'm.
against 2 purple, a black, and 3. 2 red, a purple, and 3 black.
So am I just doing my brawl check here, or how do you want
Brawl plus force rating against those.
to? Gotcha.
Which again is 2 red, a purple, and 3 black. And I'm just going to take a moment to add these other characters.
I will put the 2 light side into that attack with 2 more successes.
There are no more light side. Sorry. The other thing, the destiny points. You're using those light side.
Yeah.
So you can attack them from afar. The 2 threat I'm going to take as a setback dice.
Okay.
And that is 2 successes. Let me give you the stats on this lightsaber. With that, you're going to do 10 damage. It's going to ignore, like 12 of his silk. And you have done a significant blow to him. He is severely wounded by your lightsaber punch.
Be gone, spirit. Be cleansed.
Is going to roll their initiatives real fast. He is going to use a Sith hiss and then wave his offhand as the dark side power emanates off of him. There's going to be a discipline check on his part against the highest of their disciplines, and I'm going to flip a dark side point to upgrade him once, and then I'm going to roll. He succeeds and manages to influence all of them, causing animosity and hatred between all of your allies.
I'll say he's in your mind. He's doing exactly what I told you he would do.
That will have to happen on your turn. On their turn, they begin to lightsaber fight each other.
Okay.
Kata, along with you, seems to step back and say, "Listen to Rah'ec. You need to find your center. This isn't real." Seems that she is still with you.
I'll look at her and say, "Go get Master Luke."
She'll nod and spend 2 strain to maneuver, so that and an extra time so she can run down here. And it's your turn.
Well, it seems like getting closer to him maybe not a good idea. So I'll do the far strike again on him.
All right, go ahead.
Let's see. I got a black in there from what you said earlier. So let's say earlier I did 2 red,
purple, and now 3 black. Nice. So that's enough to hit him from afar.
And
I'm going to use those 2 threats to give you 2 strain.
Sure. I'll spend the 2 light side on that roll to add 2 successes.
Nice. So 4 successes. So that's 12 damage. He raises his alchemical sword and seems to parry a significant portion of your attack. But you are, at very least, you have bloodied him, doing more than half of his wound threshold in damage.
Okay.
And then it's his turn. He says something guttural in Sith, and then charges towards you.
I'd like to dodge. I'll spend a strain for that.
So that's 2 red.
And I have 2 melee defense, I guess.
2 red, 2 black. Rolling dice. Wow. So he failed, but he has a triumph. Let me refer. It is always interesting when that happens. Let me see this nice 3D sheet I have. So he's going to do a critical hit to you.
Doesn't he have to actually hit those?
Yeah, I was about to say. He has to hit you, and he has to do more damage than your soak to do that. So I'm going to upgrade the difficulty of your next check instead.
Okay, makes sense.
So his assault puts your character off balance, and I'm going to use those 2 advantage as a bonus die to his next attempt. I'm just going to roll discipline for your allies real fast. Oh wow, Moira gets a triumph and a despair. That's a weird one.
That is weird.
All right, so Helvira T does not succeed, but Darren and Moira do. They seem to shake themselves from his dark influence, while Kel does not. So Darren and Moira are going to be focusing on disarming Kel. And then it is your turn again, as Kata continues to run outside.
All right. He's in my space now, so I'm going to get with the Van Blade Shoto, whatever we're calling it now.
Mm-hmm.
The punch blade, I guess.
Punch blade. I like punch blade, but you can call it something else. We can call it a light guitar.
Light guitar. I'm fond of that. Let's do that. Okay. Let's see. So brawl. So you gave me an upgrade on difficulty. So I guess tell me what the difficulty's going to be. I guess
It's
I'll
gonna
have
be this would
3
be
red.
yes, 3 red, 3 black.
I'm going to spend 2 strain to take a second maneuver and double aim.
Awesome. So it's gonna give you 2 boost.
Ah.
And
Well, let's see.
despite everything,
Yeah, even if I spent that light, I'd have to tap into the dark side. I don't want to do that. All right. Well, yeah, that's going to be a failure. I guess I'll with that one light side. I'll just give him. I'll have it'll net to 1 threat rather than 2 threat.
all right. So that prevents me from giving you a setback next time, and you're just gonna take 1 strain.
Okay.
Rah'ec is getting echoes of that time that he was crippled in combat within the arena.
Mm. When I got my arm ripped off.
Exactly.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. Okay.
And so the Naga Sadao is going to try to influence your allies once more. I'm going to flip a dark side point to upgrade this. So he only has enough dark side to influence Moira, but he does succeed. And so while Darren and Moira had disarmed Kel, now Moira is influenced, and she is again lightsaber fighting with Darren, while Kel seems to have turned around and started doing something with the lightsaber forge. She's pulled out her slicing kit and has started doing something with it.
Okay.
And then you hear Kada shouting from south of you. It's hard to hear her through the walls in the distance and the waterfall in the center of the temple. But at the very least, you get the sense that she has contacted Luke. And it's your turn.
I'll say over my shoulders. I'm getting ready to do the next thing. Snap out of it. We can defeat them together. And I'm going to try to get him with the light guitar again.
Roll the hit. 2 red, a purple, 3 black.
I'll spend. Well, no. I'll aim this time, so that's a free maneuver.
Nice. You hit.
I'm going to use my martial grace talent. Take 2 strain to add 2 damage to that.
So that's 12 damage.
And the 2 light side also successes.
So 14 damage. And with that, your powerful light guitar seems to lay low the shadow of a Sith Lord. He discorporates, and then your allies return to their previous states.
Are you all okay?
It seems like they've got a couple bumps and bruises through the efforts, but unfortunately, Kel has already destroyed the lightsaber forge at this point. Then Luke and Kada run from the south. Luke, his lightsaber already drawn, and seeing the good work you have done, he nods again and says, I am impressed, Rah'ec. You were able to resist the dark side of the Force.
Thank you, Master Luke. Give him a slight bow. Is he coming back? He seems to keep coming back. This Naga Sadao guy.
I think there must be some aspect of this temple that we haven't fully investigated yet. Maybe there's an anchor that is tying him to here. Because you're right. I do think he will return unless we cleanse this temple completely.
I described the false wall through the archive and that dark side source, as I'll call it, with the pool and everything. I'll tell Master Luke about that.
So Kada and Darren and Kel and Moira and you all go through the false wall. And then when you're here, Luke suggests you go down the stairs this time because you had already explored this entire path.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get there, it appears that there's a holocron chamber within. In there, you see 2 Jedi holocrons, one of which you recognize as, you see the kind of like the resonance of this is similar to the statue you communed with outside.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a dark Jedi holocron that seems maybe anachronistic to the situation, and then a clear Sith holocron that connects itself to Naga Sadow.
I ask Master Luke, what are those, pointing to the objects?
He explains that holocrons are one of the ways that Force users might communicate their knowledge to later generations. He asks that you all help him dispose of these, and now it's kind of time for a montage where you and the entire group you meditate deeply upon these holocrons, and you are unable to cleanse the Dark Jedi or the Sith holocrons, and so you're forced to destroy them.
Okay.
While the corrupted holocron, through all of your efforts, it seems that it's connected to the Wookiee ghost from earlier. And with the compassion you showed him, you uncorrupt that holocron. And then there's also the Jedi holocron. They give, general Force teachings. There's also this mysterious artifact that even Moira, with her temple diving understandings, cannot identify. It takes your characters about a year to fully cleanse this temple.
Okay.
You have come through multiple trials. You have attuned with your lightsaber. Is there any chance your character wants to change his crystal for one of the ones in the Jedi holocron or the Padawan Wookiee holocron?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe I would ask Mora if there's any advantage to changing out crystals, or should I stick with what I have?
Sure. In her explanation, she explains that it seems that the Jedi crystal is able to echo any nearby sound with a humming resonance, which means mechanically it has the parry and reflect talent built into it.
That sounds useful. Yeah,
While the
go ahead.
Wookiee from the Wookiee one seems quite durable, tough, and so that one seems to be, if the lightsaber wielder was injured, might fortify them against it. And all it does is it allows you to ignore a critical injury if you do suffer a critical injury while using it.
I like the one with the reflected, and I feel like that's a weakness in my arsenal right now.
Very possible. Sure, yeah. So you can have the Etan crystal instead if you want. The difference is that it's damage +6 instead of damage +8. Plus, it gives you one innate reflect talent.
So what does that mean? That's 3 strain to reduce damage by
4 because you have no other reflect talent.
Right. All right, that's helpful.
While your character is now a fully armed Padawan, he is not a Jedi Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to take a break or anything at this point?
Yeah, maybe like 5-10 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, let's take 5 or 10. I'll be more or less around, and then we can get to the second chapter of this adventure.